Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 110 on this Thursday night. Our cats just came to join us again, so if it gets loud, that's why. They may be running around crazy. As they do, crazy hour, when they chase each other around.
It's a late start, and of course you don't know that because we haven't posted it, but it's later than normal,
And
which is a bad sign.
Yeah, we've had to move some boxes that we've already started packing because the cats are scratching at them, and we don't want to get our boxes ruined before we even get moving. So we were just talking about how much is on our plate right now, I think we just kind of we're thinking of just making a list to just keep track of all the tasks that we still have to do in the next few weeks before we move. We alluded in the last video, in case you missed it, we don't have the closing date exactly locked up yet, but it's getting close. So it's going to be obviously in the next few weeks. So We're just looking forward to getting that locked down. We do have the moving truck already, so that part is taken care of. But it's just all the little things that you just don't think about that get added to your plate.
They're wrestling right here.
Yeah.
Under the... Here. Oh, okay.
And then frequently, we just a few seconds ago hear them knocking something down the stairs, so they find some little kind of tidbit of something, and they knock it down the stairs. So it's a pen, a pencil, any kind of toy that they find always gets down the thing, so it's kind of funny.
Just trying to figure out what they're doing right now.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see, but I got scratched by one of them today, Waffle. I was just trying to pick her up. Because she wanted attention, and then she was like, nope.
And she's totally fine for 2 seconds and then decides that she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Oh Sorry, I'm distracted because they're
literally right here.
Yeah.
Jump up on the table.
I still have cat hair all over me because...
Yeah, Gordy is his best friend during the day and wants to just hang out and everything. Yesterday, when I was working, Waffle was sleeping on Claire's bed, which is right next to my desk, and then just got up, walked over, and just decided, you know what, I'm just going to sit on your keyboard right now. How about that? And just made herself comfortable. I actually took a picture of it, so it's so super cute. But I was like, okay, you can't do that. So I took her off. She went back to the bed, and 2 seconds later, she did it like she'd never done it before. Is this something that I shouldn't be doing? I think I have it here. And then as soon as I moved her, then Gordy came over and got comfortable on there. So it's just kind of a funny thing that they do.
Our whole daily schedule revolves around what they're doing.
It does.
Because they'll interrupt us in the middle of the day.
Okay, this one is a really cute one because Waffle likes to sleep under the bed, on her bed, and then David got to pick her up and she was super tired, so that was super cute.
No, she's attacking again. Oh dear.
Maybe I didn't take a picture of it.
Of which now? I was distracted.
Of Waffle sleeping on or just deciding to sleep on my keyboard.
No, you did because you texted it to me. Well, I can't show it because my...
Oh, that's right.
I
did text it to you.
No, you know what? It was Gordy. Oh, well.
Well, this is Gordy on David's laptop today.
Although you can't show that picture because it's all dusty. I didn't notice it until after I took the picture that the monitor stand.
And here's another example.
Yeah, she's
doing your work.
The monitor stand is all dusty.
Yeah.
So I cropped the picture actually to cut out the dust because it's a little embarrassing. That's one of the many things that has fallen between the cracks because of just all the craziness.
Well, and when we've had the windows open, we mentioned they're building a 4-unit or 5-story apartment building, literally 3 doors down on the other side of the alley for the last year. So it always kicks up dust and debris and dirt and stuff like that.
When you open the front windows to let air in, there's just filth. I mean, in the little gap there, and there's paw prints in there too, of course. So, whatever. I did want to talk about one thing that someone commented on.
Yes.
the last time, and I think, it kind of goes to what we were talking about, is they're talking about how, we were talking about people still being real cautious about the pandemic, and some folks just, giving them a hard time and everything like that, and somebody commented that, everybody is still, there's a lot of, like, just people being, well, they were kinder than me because they used the word rude, people being rude to one another. I think that's an accurate description. I might say people are being jerks to one another.
Yeah.
But, I think it's really true. It was a good comment. And I think that, a lot of it, and it's not an excuse, I'm not defending people being rude or jerky, but a lot of it is just, I think there's still so much tension and anxiety. Both, in different ways. Like, there's anxiety because people are still worried about getting sick, but there's also anxiety because people are worried about, being stuck at home with their kids, or the kids not being able to go to school. Although I think in most places kids are at least going to school part-time, and that's what they're doing here. But, just all of that stuff that goes along with it, there's so much anxiety. So, I mean, it's not an excuse, but I think it's really a true comment about just how nasty people sometimes are.
And I think, and also in that kind of vein, that people are apprehensive as companies are gearing more like, let's, we're bringing people back, kind of thing. I talked to one of my longtime friends this week, and they're going back in the summertime, and she's like, I'm not ready. I'm doing fine right here kind of thing. So there's also that kind of like, some people have enjoyed being at home more and not having the commute and the stress of bad weather and like any kind of thing. I certainly have enjoyed I haven't missed it that much, of like having to get out the door. Although where we are, it's lucky the train runs like every 5 minutes practically, so it's not like I had to like get there at a certain time.
Yeah, the problem with commuting from here, it's not the time really. It's just that if the weather's bad or whatever, you have to deal with all that. And the train is always crowded, so
yes,
that's not great. Especially, I think one of the things that is stressful, and it kind of goes to this whole thing that we were talking about last time, is, there's so much uncertainty. Even the health advice is never really that clear, and it's not a criticism, but the thing is that, like, scientists are not, they're always going to say, nothing is ever, I don't know, I'm not saying it right, but nothing is ever 100% certain, right? So they'll always say, they won't say, if you do X, Y, and Z, you're going to get sick. And they're never going to say, if you do these 3 things or whatever, you're 100% safe. It's always about, is it a greater risk or a lesser risk, And that's stressful because, that, some people will look at it and say, the risk is so low, there we go.
Hey, buddy.
The risk is so low, we should just get back to normal. And other people will say, well, no, I mean, the risk is low, but it could be really bad, blah, blah, blah. So all that uncertainty doesn't help. It's not really the fault of people, of scientists or whatever, because, that's the nature of, that's what they do. They're never going to be able to say with absolute certainty that this is going to get you sick or this will prevent you from getting sick. But I don't know. I think the just going back and forth and not knowing for sure what to do, and how dangerous things are, or are the consequences of continuing to shut down or continuing to keep kids out of school, is it worse than, are we creating greater problems, or is the, I don't know.
And actually, kind of a fun fact is the city of Chicago is bringing back events this summer.
Yeah.
Mayor Lightfoot said, we're bringing back
festivals
and things like that.
Concerts and things like that.
And our town actually posted the opposite, like
the
same
true.
day.
It's the same day, right?
Said we're not going to do anything for the summer and fall, any outside events. So that was kind of a weird coinkydink. Last year, our local farmers market, which David loves to go to farmers markets, they kind of like spread it out,
Well,
kind
right.
of thing.
They did hold the farmers market, but they
They'll
just
probably
expanded the area that they were doing it in.
But I thought it was kind of funny, and actually,
But that's a good point though, because what I saw on, I don't know, on social media, whatever, would almost suggest that they weren't going to do the farmers market. But I can't imagine they would have done it last year and not do it this year.
Yeah, I think I wonder if that's just for like the wine and beer festivals and like they have like an art in the park and
true.
a day in our village, which is like a popular thing, where they're just going to decide, not to just have those things. So.
Yeah, and actually, as I'm thinking about it, it wasn't the village. There's a group, a private group that runs events, and it was that group that said they're not going to do it. So the village may still allow certain things to happen, but it was inconsistent. It was kind of weird that the city was just kind of like,
yeah, come on down.
But I don't know. You imagine there's still going to be a lot of restrictions. They're probably not going to have the same. I don't know what they're going to do if they bring Lollapalooza back.
I know. I was just thinking the same thing. Do they do it like 25% capacity? Do they have
Right.
you have to be? No kids are going to be spread out. They're all going to be together. So
Well, and how are they going to are they going to take people's temperatures before they go
and,
in?
And what about my Gourmet Chicago? Probably not going to have that either.
That's a good question.
That's like a 2-day festival in Millennium Park where they have like chefs tasting and they have it closed to the public, and it's like a huge food event, so I bet they won't have that either. And then I was also thinking about like all the boat rides off of Navy Pier. They're probably not going to have that either.
Well, that's a hard call because you're in a confined space, but it's also open air.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they do about stuff like that.
I don't know either.
I mean, I do think that they're going to get back by the end of the summer. Things are going to be much more back to normal. I don't know.
Yeah, our youngest daughter just signed up for her classes for next year, and 4 of them are going to be in person. So she's thrilled with that. So I hope, knock on wood, that she gets to go to a real college class instead of like in her dorm room or somewhere else on campus and watching it online, which is good. And then our oldest daughter got her first vaccine today. So 4 out of 5 of us. Only one is fully vaccinated, and the rest
right,
are.
But we've all started
Mm-hmm.
in any event. So.
And we'll be done in a few weeks, so I'm happy about that. Finally.
For sure.
So yeah, we've just been not much has happened since the last time we talked. Just working and busy at work and lots of deadlines and trying to cross T's before we move and making sure that our work stuff gets done during the day.
Yeah.
And then trying to figure out what we have to do at night, which is good. We did make some headway over the weekend, so I feel like we're...
But it never seems like it because the more you start like packing and everything like that, the more disorganized everything seems. So we have boxes all over the place.
Yeah.
Or we...
Bins.
empty, and that's the problem is you have empty bins, and then you're reminded of how much there's still to do, and then there's boxes that are already packed, but... I don't know.
Yeah, and we have to pack our photos pretty
Our
soon.
photos, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. We'll walk out of here and forget them.
Yeah, no way. I won't forget those.
That would be the kind of thing that we would do, though. Is like, and then 6 months from now, we'll be like, where did those
where's the
photos
pictures
go?
of New York? No, those are definitely my favorite ones. That's why we got them framed, and we're definitely taking them with us. So I don't want to forget those. But yeah, it's just like small stuff, and
There's a lot of small stuff, and it really, it's hard to keep track of.
yeah. And we have some things that we still have.
We're talking like no one has ever moved before.
I know.
Like no one's ever bought a house before.
When everyone on the planet did last year.
Right.
I do consider us lucky that we were not in a situation where we were in a multiple offer situation or the stress that some people are having. I saw in Indiana, open house, there was like a line down the block for people to see it. It's kind of like the frenzy of that whole thing. I just don't, and they were doing a lottery, like who can actually even get in to see it and who wants to make an offer right off the bat. So
I don't understand it because you would think with going through a difficult year and the economy being affected and all that, it seems like there would be a lot more people who want to rent than buy. But
yeah.
Man, I mean, everything is going quickly. And we were talking to people we know in Philadelphia. I was sorry,
Yes.
I was going to say Pennsylvania, but Philadelphia. and they were contemplating buying the place there. Same thing. So I don't know. It's confusing to me. Are prices low? I mean, interest rates are still low. That's clear. But I mean, maybe prices have gone down or something. I would have thought, and that's why we were in no rush. We were like, oh, we're gonna take our time, because I would have just thought that people wouldn't be buying right now.
Yeah.
That's completely wrong. Everybody's buying right now.
Yeah, and even our realtor said, if you see something that has like most of the criteria, like really consider it, which we did, kind of thing, because you don't have the opportunity like you have in past times. Like, have you seen House Hunters sometimes where they obviously in the end show 3 houses, but and they say we've been looking for 6 months. It's like there's just nobody who's doing that or has the luxury of doing that. I don't think.
Unless you keep getting
unless
outbid,
you
and
your
you can't.
House.
Well, yeah. But I mean, if the demand is so high, you may, every time you look at a place, it could already be off the market, and that's what nearly happened to us. But we found the place. But I don't know. Where we were looking, the prices weren't that bad, so maybe that's part of why things worked out. I mean, we were talking, I don't know, some time ago. We had, obviously gave him some parameters, and including budget. He really didn't show us anything that was over. Well, there might have been a couple of things that he emailed us, a couple houses that were a little bit over, but everything was within the budget, and for the most part met what we were looking at.
That's why we always think too when we watch House Hunters, when they say my budget's $500,000, for example, and they're like, well, this one's $575, and it's like, okay, well, that's a huge difference, kind of thing, because now you're talking probably more real estate taxes, more down payment, all that stuff, and it's like it's not an insignificant.
I think the thing is that because interest rates are so low, the difference in the mortgage payment is not very significant, so you can actually go up quite a bit and still be able to afford the mortgage payment. But it really depends on how much money you're putting down.
Right.
Because if you're putting 20% down,
that's a big chunk of change.
That's, for an additional, the 75,000 means you got to come up with an additional, 15,000.
Yeah.
So you don't always have $15,000 laying around, an extra $15,000 if you're already putting, like $100,000 down on a $500,000 house.
Insane.
So, but that's the thing I think that it strikes me as odd. But we didn't have that problem because everything was within our budget for the most part.
And the place that we looked at literally went on the market the day before, so it wasn't something.
True.
So we got it. We may have been like one of the first people to actually see it.
And another thing I think is that when people get really hung up on a particular style, like they want something that they want a ranch. They say, I don't think we were that picky about the style so much, except for like the inside. To me, I'm more concerned about, like, this has a nice kitchen, for example. That's a big deal.
Which I love.
Yeah, but it is a big deal because if you want to update it, it's very expensive. Right. So when you go into a place and the kitchen is already nice,
right?
And we prefer gas stove, had nice. Fairly new, nice,
a great view
gas
from the
stove. It does have a nice view from the kitchen.
So you don't see it from where our kitchen is now, but where it is tucked into, there's no windows around. There's like our back door.
In our current kitchen,
so
really
it's very dark,
it's dark,
and not good for food photography. But I'm looking forward to this kitchen is just super bright because it's got windows looking from the sink to the backyard, and then also it has sliding glass doors, so like floor to ceiling windows, so it's like super bright, and I think it's just going to be amazing.
I think that sort of thing is, to me, makes a bigger difference than just is it this house happens to be a 2-story. I guess if I had to choose, I'd probably prefer 2-story to 1-story.
Me too.
That wasn't like a make or break thing. Things like, is the kitchen set up? We have a nice finished basement, so we have all that extra space that you wouldn't otherwise have. I mean, our basement here is kind of gross.
Yeah.
To be honest, we use it, but it's not.
It's not finished.
You're not going to sit down there and watch TV.
No.
So things like that. There's more space. The kitchen is up to date. There are 3 bathrooms.
And I was
You
also
know.
thinking about this too because since this house is over 100 years old, at least this front
This
part.
house, not the one we're buying.
Yeah, this front part, there's an addition on the back for this house, but the creaky hardwood floors,
Some
which in
people
our
find
town, every house you go into has creaky hardwood floors and creaky going up the stairs and everything. So since this house is much newer, it's solid. There's no creakiness. So I'm looking forward to that, not having to have so many creaky floors.
some people find it charming.
Yeah.
The thing is that I don't like having to try to sneak around in the morning and not make a lot of noise.
So if we had more time to look at a bunch of houses, we were joking to tell our realtor to act like house hunters and be like, I'm looking for like something that's quirky and quaint. You're looking for mid-century modern.
jeez.
Which I don't even know, like it's just having a preference of like mid-century modern or a Georgian or a bungalow or I mean, just like hard set on the aesthetic of it. We just have never been like that.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I don't know. That's just kind of the way it is. So not everyone will like our house, I guess.
Yeah, that's
I don't
okay.
care.
It's ours. Almost.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing, and just kind of like keeping on, making lists, and gonna start to make a list. Haven't done it yet. It's in our
Well, I
head.
think we've made lists. I mean, we've certainly taken
Yeah.
notes. And
That's true. We're on top of things.
yeah,
so
we're
far.
probably more on top of things than we've ever been before, as far
That's
as that
true.
goes.
Yeah.
Having done this process a few times, well,
Yeah.
3 times,
Hmm.
I think we're actually ahead of the game.
That is true. But we hope you guys are having a good week and that you have fun plans this weekend for Mother's Day.
That's true.
And so yeah, it's gonna be a good weekend. We're gonna try to grill out on Sunday, which is nice because
It's only going to be in the 50s, but
that's all right. I think is it supposed to be not rainy though?
I don't think it's supposed to rain. I
Okay.
think it's just supposed
50s
to
is
be
fine.
low 50s.
Yeah, then we can just kind of be like,
Yeah.
get some marshmallows. But anyway, have a good rest of the night, and we will talk to you guys next time. Bye.